So now I think this is where I kind of like came to Dreamers Club, because the business was running very, very successful during 4 years. We were booked out 95% of basically it was all booked out. 5 years ago, I had another life. So something huge change happened. I studied business administration. I was working in the big companies, like super corporate life. And then suddenly I felt that this is not making me really like deeply happy. This is not fulfilling. So
hello and welcome back to another episode of Dreamers Unplugged. I'm so excited that you tuned in because today we have another member of the Dreamers Club here. Her name is Julie, but she's going to introduce herself in a second. But we met a couple of weeks ago at one of the branches. So yeah, for you guys to know once that is this episode is live, we already pre-recorded that a couple of weeks/months earlier. So we just finished a workout event. So we might be a little out of breath here. So please don't take it too serious. But yeah, why don't we start there? Who are you? What do you do? What brings you to Malaga?
So my name is Julie. I'm born in Russia, almost in Siberia. And when I was 4 years old, my parents decided to move to Germany, to Berlin. So I was raised in Berlin. And then I did my Erasmus about 10 years ago in Madrid. And that was kind of the change. The change. I said, thanks, Berlin, but no thanks. So I've left basically to Spain. I kind of like was traveling back and forth, but that was it. Like my German time was over. And now, for 10 years I'm in Spain, 4 years in Barcelona, and now almost 5 years in Malaga.
Yeah, time flies, right? It's crazy.
Yeah.
But so you had different lives, obviously, kind of like episodes of your life. I mean, 10 years is quite a while. So tell us a little bit about how different your life were here in Spain and why Malaga?
Ooh, that's an interesting question. Well, I kind of would say that 5 years ago I had another life. So something huge change happened 5 years ago, 2020. I studied business administration. I was working in the big companies, like super corporate life. And then suddenly I felt that this is not making me really like deeply happy. This is not fulfilling. So I kind of wish for more nature. I kind of thought of maybe a patio or garden or something. So 2020, we decided to move to Malaga, and my mom kind of told me, go have a look at some land. And land, mother? What are you saying? My plants in the balcony in Barcelona are dying. So what?
You're pretty much like here. Get that one.
So I kind of visualized, maybe a patio or something, but I ended up visiting a finca in the mountains. So now I have 4 hectares of land.
Well, that's quite a jump from dying plants on the balcony to, new lifestyle, I guess.
Yeah, like a new life, basically. It was a new life. So it was like kind of a rebirth. It was like learning to do everything from zero. Well, living off grid, like learning to do everything from scratch. A new life again.
That's crazy. And I mean, you're also not just living there by yourself. So tell us a little bit about, because it's a business.
Yes.
So tell us a little about that aspect, because that was a change as well, right? So you didn't come from having a business before.
Yeah, well, that was also a bit crazy. Like with my previous partner, we visited this finca, only this finca. And it was
really?
Only this finca. We called the agent. We booked a rental car. We went from Marbella. We were like renting a room in a friend's house, and we went to the mountains of Malaga. We saw this finca, and then I called my mom and said, well, mom, okay, it's going to be that. Like, what now? Because we both had no jobs after the pandemic. We were like, no bank would obviously give us any credit. So and then something, I would say, magical happened, because I feel when you are in tune, basically when you are not scared and you have kind of this huge vision, this is like, you believe in your power. You're not scared. Like you kind of like get rid of the fears. Yeah. So in the end, we were able to manifest this finca to actually buy it. And so we started, this was actually an abandoned finca. So there was nothing. It was basically the walls of the house and the roof and the whole of the pool and the tourist license. Because
okay. So you had that. Because I know in Spain, can be quite difficult to get licenses. So that was already there.
Yeah. Yeah, we had the sports court, which is like super random to have in the mountain a sports court, like a football court.
Sure. So for everyone who's listening, please check out the Instagram. We're going to link it here as well. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
I mean, we were now rebuilding it and like kind of like giving it life during the last 4 years every day, the whole day, working on the finca. And pretty much from the beginning, our like financial sustain was hosting rural tourism, like basically families or groups of friends or couples who would like to come and kind of like get out of the city, because in the end we are 25 minutes from the city, but still it's like, it's middle of nowhere.
It's like nature. I love it.
No sound of any car.
Just see it's like the birds saying nothing. In one of my Insta in the reel, I actually said, the only thing you can hear are birds. And then in that moment, you can hear a bird. So check that out. But it's sure.
So yeah, it's we kind of started with that. We both are very like hosts, let's say. Like I really love hosting friends and family, and then it was like perfect to be hosts in the nature. So we live there. Like now I run it on my own, but so we have half of the house which is rented, the cottage, and then yes. Nice. So it was.
How many rooms do you have that are rented? Because let's start there.
Well, so now I've changed the concept. So now I think this is where I kind of like came to Dreamers Club, because this was where I because the business was running very, very successful during 4 years. We were booked out 95% of like, basically it was all booked out.
Nice.
But then at one point I felt that I want more community. I want more, because like this kind of people coming, people going there, of course, like it's super nice and conscious people, but still they're like in between them and you are like not really
connected.
Claro. So they kind of like come and go. So at one point I was like, I feel like I want to know people deeper. I want to really get to know them and kind of like, I want them to get to know me. So I felt, okay, I'm going to change the whole concept. So now I rent the whole rural cottage which has 3 double bedroom, and then the studio we've built for like co-living. So it's kind of like a shared flat. And also because I understand that we're all kind of have our own digital business, not like we're all in the end doing some stuff online. Yeah. So we have now this co-living plus very good internet connection with the Starlink. So now we are like co-living, co-working space, which is, it's a whole new concept now.
Nice. So tell us a little bit about your vision you have today. And then afterwards, we're going to talk a little bit about the transition of the vision, because it has changed. But let's start with now. What's the vision now?
That's interesting. We were just yesterday with my 2 girlfriends and Cádiz. We were like talking about what's your perfect day.
Oh, I love that. One of my favorite exercises.
That's a good question, especially for yesterday, the new moon and the planets aligning. So that's a vision, the perfect day. So basically my perfect day looks like definitely a slow morning, like having time everyone for ourselves in the end, sharing some nice, let's say coffee or whatever, hot drink in the morning, having a little bit of like community breakfast, then basically working everyone on their own projects, which is in the end, I feel like, we all have our talents, our passions that we bring kind of to life with our own businesses, projects, whatever. And then having some shared lunch, like sharing food, of course, all that in the setting of nature, in the mountain, the kind of sharing of passions in the afternoon of like basically to wrap it up, it's all about community. It's all about community. It's like kind of getting together all our talents, our passions, all our strengths and share them between us. So it's in the end, it's all about that. Like someone likes to cook some really nice food. Someone likes to do, I don't know, a yoga class. So we can kind of like combine that, share that, and wrap the day up with some nice maybe pizzas from the oven with like some sourdough, whatever. So it's kind of, the vision is about that. It's like taking care of the earth. Well, taking care. I mean, in the end, it's like we don't need to take care of the nature. It takes care of themselves, but basically to not contaminate more, plant some like whatever we can do, like to kind of like, let's say, give it life again, share, like community wise, like, that's in the end, it's all about community. It comes to the same point. It's about community.
I love that. And how do you want to bring that vision to life? Because, I know that you're already doing it, but tell us a little about that.
Well, so my idea at one point was basically last July. I was like, wow, I'm like living in the mountain, kind of like a bit low. Well, let's say like eremita, like a bit, not like como remote. So my first idea was I really like organizing. I really like bringing people together. I was like, let's do a big event. Let's do something nice. Let's bring all these passions in let's say in a shape of workshops. Let's bring them all together. Let's dance. Let's have some nice food, and let's enjoy the nature and the company of each other. We had like also very nice markets. So like people brought their artisanal stuff. This is basically one of the parts where I put my passions and my talents into life. And then some smaller events like the co-working Friday, where we come together, we all work during the day on our own projects, and then share some nice moments in the afternoon. And then on the other side, of course, the co-living part, which is the daily life, no? So we share with the people from the co-living, with our volunteers who help me so much with like maintaining and kind of like keep running the finca smoothly and like energetically harmonic, and the van lifers. So we have like different types of people coming together.
Nice.
And sharing. In the end, it's about that.
Nice. I love that. So let's circle back to what I said earlier, like with the change of the vision, because you started as like tourism, and then you made that switch. How did that happen, and how was the process?
Well.
Imagine it's like with every change in life. Can you imagine that it has its ups and downs?
It's funny because I observed myself being pretty extreme. Let's say I'm like, I have this idea. I close that. I start a new one. So there was no, let's say, transition. I'm not the one like, let's do it smooth. No, it's like from one day, you see, from Barcelona city center to the middle of the mountain.
We're going to have to talk about that in a second as well.
Pretty extreme.
Because I just came back from Barcelona. Like, that's a different vibe.
Okay, well, crazy. It was, So, basically from one day to another was a friend who kind of gave me this like idea. I used to have a shared flat in Barcelona. As I couldn't find a nice shared flat, I thought, okay, if there is no shared flat I enjoy, I'm going to create myself one. So I rented a big flat with 5 rooms and then started to rent the rooms. So I called it Happy Casa. Then we created a Happy Casa 2, a Happy Casa 3. So we had a happy building. So it was like a lot of people. So it was kind of the same I'm doing now, but in Barcelona. So I did that, let's say, like intuitively, like because I was like beginning of my 20s, so I kind of did it like I thought out of a need, but in the end, I think this is something I really enjoy doing, of like bringing people together. And if there's, I love that. Like in the end, like it's this living together. Because, when you're an expat and you live in another country, sometimes it's a bit complicated to find the connection to the people there. So
you feel lonely a lot.
I mean,
you can feel lonely if you're not connecting.
And then what can you do? So let's create community between people who are like-minded in the end. So who also left their countries and search for connection. So
I also feel like that when you're in your early 20s, you just do stuff. Like you don't really think about consequences. You just, you go with the flow. It's like you said, it's out of my need. So you don't even think about that others might have the same need. You just do it because you need it.
Yeah.
And then when you hit a certain, you get older, you see consequences. You stop doing that out of just intuition. probably.
100%.
So I think we can get you back there to that spot.
It's funny, but yeah, so many things I was doing like intuitively, which I now kind of, I rethink and I'm like, wow, but this was like, I did it not like this.
Yeah, I get that.
So I kind of, for years I did, in the end, like everything was perfect how it was in the end. But for years I was doing this rural tourism. So at my home, I had all the time people coming and going, and it was like, of course, very nice. And we needed the financial sustain, obviously. Yeah. But at one point I was like, no, I really need to get back to that. So this friend kind of like reminded me of that. I was like, claro, like I have now a finca. I can do the same. So yeah. So let's do happy casa in the mountains.
I love that.
So yes.
But isn't it crazy that sometimes we need an outside reminder of who we are?
Oh.
I love that. Yeah, because I mean, along my journey, I have same, like sometimes for other people, it's so obvious what kind of connects with us and who we are. Yeah. But for us, we're so like, especially as business owner, obviously we need to bring in money. Yeah. Like, let's be honest about that. But then we kind of get lost in like the possibilities of how you get money that you kind of forget of why you started in the first place.
That's the thing. Like, what are your passions? What are your strengths? What is? It's actually funny. The same friend made me do like this Gallup strength test, and the outcome was, I'm like a connector of people.
I love that.
Apparently so. So, like, I mean, having the rural tourism, Casa Rural thing, it was almost there, but it's not it's the co-living. It's this like sharing, much more sharing. It's not just about like people coming and going, and which is also I really enjoy. Open basically my doors to like for people to see that it's so nice to actually live in the nature. It's not just about like, I always say, like, it's not just digging the earth all the time and like, like kind of like, no, like people have sometimes this, and you can have really nice internet and you can do like all your like co-working there and you can still come to Malaga or like to the city and I don't know, enjoy some coffee or whatever. It's all possible. It's not that when you leave, you're kind of not like
out of this world.
Yes.
Out of society. Like I feel, I mean, for me as well, when someone tells me I live off grid, like instantly the picture that I'm having is more of this, like,
yeah,
like, this
you have to go for water and stuff.
Yeah, I know it sounds stupid, and I mean, I grew up in the countryside. Like, I'm no one to tell anything. So, but still, you have that picture in your head. I mean, I have been there, so I know. I mean, obviously, yeah, there's not much going on around. But that's actually what I enjoyed as well, of like calming down.
And I always said it's not yet, because my vision is as well to kind of bring back life. Because, people started to leave from the countryside and all coming to the city. So in the city, we're like kind of all sitting one on each other. And of course now, well, this restaurants at the road, like Espentas, they all closed. And now there's nothing to go and nothing to socialize. So this is also something I have in my vision is actually, so if someone is listening and would like to open up a specialty coffee place.
Oh yeah.
So I would love to do the, just like basically put the contacts together and say, because they're really nice spaces to actually open up and let's say an organic kilometer zero specialty coffee place and make this, like kind of like a place to connect for community, to like for people from the mountain, outside of the city, and also for people who drive by with a bike. It's like a very famous bike roads, let's say.
Nice. So
also the school who closed, there was like this rural school. Oh, yeah? So I have also envisioned. So I don't have kids, so it's not very like, let's say,
no need yet.
Yeah, no need yet. But this is all. I already have my eye on it, so it's possible to reopen the things and bring back the light. But yeah, I think sometimes this like visionary minds are missing a bit in these areas because the space is there.
Yeah.
And so when we kind of bring back that, we can create awesome things. And like having kind of the same community we are really, really longing for. And that's why we come that's why I come to the city.
Yeah.
We can have it as well there, being in the nature. So, so this is kind of like why I in the end thought I would like to call this big event Back to Nature, which is like coming back and seeing that we can actually super enjoy nature and have the same comforts we have here and the same basically needs met, but in the nature.
Yeah. And maybe it goes even like, because I feel a lot of people are afraid to choose either one, but maybe we can choose both.
Why not?
We can have it all.
Why not? Of course, like you see, like I'm here and I really enjoy coming to Malaga to have a coffee. Like before it was just like, every day in Barcelona, like you don't even...
It's not special anymore.
Yeah. But now it's like, you see today, we had this boot camp workout. And then when I'm already by the sea, I will like put my feet in the sea. But then living in Barcelona, I was in front of the sea. I was like not taking advantage of it. It's like so you can, of course you can. Like maybe if you live, let's say an hour or two.
Yeah,
but
it's different.
There are so many nice like spaces and all the villages, empty villages, which are like why don't we start using these spaces? So yeah.
No, I love that. And also I feel, also especially with working remote, a lot has changed. So obviously a lot of people moved to the cities because there were the opportunities. Yeah. That was just reality for them. But now, and also when we were at the co-working event, that one, you could literally, for me, I had one moment where it's like, this is so cool. Like we were 10 people, probably a little more. And I was like, everyone is working on their own right now, but we're like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So opportunities are where we are.
Yeah, definitely.
And where we have Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
We need internet for those opportunities.
for those we need.
But as long as we have that, we can connect
100%.
Business-wise, 100%. Most of us.
And it's funny because what I felt like the difference between, for me, being in the nature was so much easier, let's say, to like manifest very quick because there are no distractions. There is like no, let's say, also the same all 100 Wi-Fi signals. When I now turn on my laptop and I see the whole list of Wi-Fi signals, I'm like, my goodness, I have there one.
Actually, when I opened my Wi-Fi there, it's like, I have to ask her about the name.
Yeah.
I opened the Wi-Fi, the laptop, I was like, no.
There's just one. Yeah. Yeah. So, but the interesting thing is started to like kind of get reality and like manifest themselves very quick being in the nature. They're like, it's your thoughts, your vision. So you can like really, it's quicker. It's so much quicker. And yeah, like why don't we? It's the same. Like we have the Wi-Fi. I can make a really good coffee as well in the finca. What's missing?
Yeah, the coffee was great,
right? So what's missing? So for me, was the community. The community was missing. So this is what I also thought. Okay, it's missing. So let's create it. Let's do it.
Yeah, I love that thought of, I need something. I create it. If it's not there, let's just create it. Because I feel like a lot of times people wait for something to happen or to manifest, but manifesting doesn't mean not doing anything. There's a small distinction. Like you still have to move, still have to do stuff. Yeah. But I always say, if I have the idea, then I'm gonna get help along the way to make it happen.
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting, but I also like now faced, of course, like some fears. Well, let's say fears. I mean, I kind of was like tense. Thinking that, okay, it went super quick with the rural tourism. It's going to work out super quick with the co-living. And now, like, let's say for the last weeks, it was like not how I expected, not so quick. But what did I do? I chanced myself. I was like, okay, like, wait. No, this is not the way how you manifest stuff. Like, you really need to be like calm, patient. Of course, keep doing, like, keep trying, because in the end, it's that, like, until you really push the button. Before the Back to Nature event where so many people came, I did, 15 events and like 15 events of organizing, of like thinking, of visualizing, until I actually, let's say, push the right button.
Yeah.
And
that's it. And that's what good that we're at that point now. Because I feel like a lot of times when people only see the end result of that, what did you tell me? 160 people came to the event? I mean, that's huge. That's huge.
I didn't expect it.
That's crazy. But you expected 50, right?
I was like, luckily, if we are lucky, 50 people would sign up.
So what people don't see is the amount of events that not that many people showed up, probably.
Yes, and I was like, really like, please, guys, come. Like, let's do another offer. You know, like they made 10 max, and then like, that exploded. But it took time to kind of figure out what's actually needed, what's actually what they want, what's not like what's.
I get that 100%.
But until then, you really need to try. And
and I remember the Dreamers Club. We had a similar. Or I'm always saying we. It's me. I don't know if you.
I like to say we as well.
I don't know if you have this, but
it's me.
If I say we, I mean me.
In my higher self. Let's say
me and my vision. I don't know, but it's sometimes funny when I'm like, "Oh yeah, we did that," and then someone's like, "Oh, who helped you?" I'm like, honestly, it's just I did that.
Yeah.
Okay, coming back. So, I mean, I had, I think 1 or 2 events in 3 years, which is fine, where no one showed up. And that was, I mean, I took it personally, to be really honest. I really took it personally. Until I realized, okay, the other option would be quitting, and that's not going to work either. And I had one rule, and I think I actually had a conversation with my mom about that. She's like, either you quit, but then you quit it completely, or you just swallow your pride. You just keep moving on. Like and you never cancel. I have one rule. I don't cancel, even if no one signs up.
Nice.
I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
I'm always there.
I mean,
and that tells the universe that I'm there.
Yeah.
And the next time, I mean, it was 3 years and 2 events. No, it was just 1. Because in the other one showed up in the end. But, I mean, that's nothing. If you look back, in that moment, it felt terrible. Clearly. But we keep showing up.
Yeah. It's interesting because like sometimes I also kind of like forget why am I doing it. Like it's not just about the business. It's not at all actually. Not at all. Of course I need like financial sustain to kind of keep it running. But I do it to like keep the evolution of, let's say, my soul, like my personality, my character, my strengths. Like I want to, like develop myself. So in the end, of course, this is like at the same point, at the same like level, I have this mission. Yeah, like let's call it a mission, but like there is something I really, really want to do. Like all that I'm doing, all the energies I'm like investing. It's not just for myself. It's like also a lot I want to kind of share with, like, let's say humans, with the humanity, like with the, so that's for sure. But that like a very, very high priority is I want to learn. I want to develop. So this is also learning, like no one showing up or like this is like the huge learning because this is uncomfortable. So there's where the learning is.
And obviously I can not only blame others. So either maybe in that case, there was just a miscommunication, didn't explain the event well enough, didn't address it in the right, like social media or whatsoever. So there's always something you can take away from it. And sometimes maybe it's just a sign of like, you need to be by yourself right now.
Yeah.
I had the best ideas, by the way, on that walk. So that turned out really well.
Yeah.
But obviously then moving on and admitting like this didn't work out, especially I like being a perfectionist.
Oh, really? I don't know what is it. Yeah.
So that is hard to admit that not everything works out perfectly and not every idea, and I'm having a lot of them, and I know you do too. Not every idea is worth going after or is working out the way we think it is.
But it's like this quote I really like sometimes things we want are not the things we need. So I want to remind myself. So when my mind really wants, sometimes it's not what I actually need right now. So,
but that's part of life.
Claro. And sometimes what you need is like really being on your own. But I'm learning now from a very inspiring friend, Filipa. She really goes like with if it's not aligning, it's not aligning and it's fine. Like I had this like sometimes I put dates and I really like tried to push to push it to be on that date, but it's not aligning. It's like, I don't feel the motivation, the inspiration. So like, why are we pushing? Like, so in the end, if it's not aligning, it's not now. It's like, come on, we need to keep learning a bit more, to do a bit more, like to change a bit. So
step by step. And I think one thing I'm getting to understand more and more by doing everything we're doing is that maybe there is no end game. I mean, cognitively, I know that. Like out here, very clear to me. Down here, where, in my heart, I'm like, no, we're working towards something, right? And then you have this final end game. And a year, 2 years ago, must be 2 years already, I went to a seminar, and the guy, it was in German, and the guy actually was talking about success. And in Spanish, it's éxito, right? So he was explaining what success actually means by using the word. And if you look at éxito, it's exit.
Yeah.
So he pretty much draw the line. Like we walk up there, like we go to our highest point.
Yeah.
So our success moment is where we leave it. So where we go another path, right? Because if we never hit that turning point, we don't think we have success.
Oh, wow. That's,
right?
Yeah.
I was like, our language, first of all, love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
But it just makes so much sense. But then again, doing that, like implementing that realization into everyday life, that's a completely different story.
It's interesting. Like now that you say that, it's like, yeah,
it is. We always say, we're at the peak, and the peak is when we leave.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, and then like a new cycle starts. And
exactly. But I mean, in that moment, it's weird because they actually, why he told that story was because they were interviewing really, really successful people like Michael Schumacher or like super, super successful, like peak. They interviewed them in the peak moment, and the question they asked is, how are you feeling? All of them said empty.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I was like, okay, wait, I'm running towards the moment I'm going to feel empty, and I'm not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're all in that red race. We're all in that race. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Like, we just have to understand it's normal.
Yeah.
Like, we do, if we want to build something, we do have to do stuff. We do have to go, after that.
That's interesting.
To like that goal. But we are expecting, or maybe it's just me, but I'm always expecting when I hit that goal, I'm going to feel different.
Yeah.
I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be this. I'm going to be whatever. Like, everything's suddenly magically going to change once I hit that revenue that month or, whatever we're setting our goals. But let's be real. That moment never comes where I'm like, yes.
I mean, it's
looking back, it comes. But in that moment, I don't have it.
Yes. And it's actually interesting because when I thought of, the rural tourism was running.
It was a success.
Yes. Like it was like already running. It was like going. I could just like be, like chill.
Yeah.
But no, I was like, no, that's not fulfilling. That it feels like I want something new, something different, something more aligned or whatever I made up. Like, but it didn't feel like this fulfillment was not there anymore. So what I'm feeling now, even though I'm like, facing these fears and like these tensions and like looking at what I can do better, like basically putting myself again in this like challenging situation, in this like new situation. But on the other side, now the last 2 months, I was feeling so motivated and so inspired and like kind of so much life force gain. So it was a bit more challenging, let's say, but the feeling I had was different. Like it's another level of when I had success in the best business model, like financial model. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, but it's true. And what happens to me as well is that once you start changing, you start feeling, I've tried a couple of things before I found my business as well. But I always felt like, I failed, right? Looking back, I'm like, okay, now I feel where I'm supposed to be. But what I forget is that this trial period, or like whatever we've done before, that made us who we are today to get to that next point.
Definitely.
So this whole like judging backwards. We just should stop it. Again, I'm talking about myself here too. Like, it's just crazy because it made us see what we want.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't have had the tourism, you wouldn't have maybe not confidence, or wouldn't be you of knowing how to run it. Because that skills that helps you now.
Definitely. And yes, like as I said, like I cannot, because on Instagram things look a bit different.
That's why we do the podcast, by the way.
It's not the way it looks like. But in the end, it's that, like, I feel starting, even though it's like a bit more challenging, but starting something new, this motivation and inspiration you have, like this,
the momentum,
like, yes, this is actually really awesome. Like doing it for the first time, it's like super interesting. Like even though it's challenging and you have to face a lot of fears and stuff, but this is, I feel that's interesting. That's like so interesting. So in the end, definitely it's not how it looks like, and it's not so quick and easy how we sometimes expect, or how we show it on Instagram. But
sure.
But yes, that's actually super enjoyable. Like this time at the beginning until you come to the exit, when you leave.
Go another way.
Claro.
Well, isn't there a saying that says we overestimate what we can do in a year, and we underestimate what we can do in 5? So, well, I definitely am one of those persons. I like setting my goals a little higher than, I mean, I just have 24 hours in a day. Yeah. So we overestimate and we run and we run and run. But then what we can achieve in 5 years. And I look back what happened in the last 5 years. Could you have imagined that?
If you tell me 5 years ago that I'm going to run a finca with like so many animals and like being so many humans there and like off grid, off grids, like it's the whole solar system, the whole, like all the stuff is like, you have to manage it. You're responsible for it. Nah, I would say no.
You're crazy, right?
Kidding. That's no. But
so imagine what we will say the next 5 years.
Yes,
that's always exciting me.
Yes,
because we're probably going to meet people in the next 5 years. We don't even know they exist today. This is something. I mean, obviously, we're all meeting people we don't know because, that's just life. But they are living already.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, we didn't know each other how long ago? Months and a half ago or something. So, no,
it's crazy. Like, in the end, we just have to be open.
Yeah.
But, therefore, we need to get out of our comfort zones.
And it's like, well, a huge learning for me was like, enjoy the moment. This is so easy to say, and I kind of like, I understand it here and like for a long time, but actually to actually do it, to actually like see what you have already, like the same, no, like my perfect day I described yesterday to my friends, I am already living it.
That's a really good one.
So like I feel, what's the feeling? Well, I mean, I'm already living it. So it's like about kind of to enjoy already what we have, right? Like what we already achieved. Yeah. So
for me, there are 2 hearts in my chest. One is like, okay, I'm living what I wanted to live, so let's enjoy it. But at the second time, I need the ambition as well. Like I just need it. Like my whole system needs it. Maybe there's something going on. I don't know. You can analyze that, but I just need it today. Maybe that changes, but as of today, I need that.
It's the development, right, of our souls. So like, and especially in our age.
Oh yeah, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be big things, but I discovered in my life, I need constantly a project, something that I can work on. I get bored out of my mind if I don't have a project.
Yeah.
I do believe that in relationships, you need that as well. Like with your family, friends, you need something that connects you. Projects connect us. Yeah. Working together on whatever it is. Like it doesn't necessarily have to be business. Yeah. Can be something private. I don't know, plan a vacation, or I don't know what else.
Definitely, yeah.
I don't have that many private projects. You know what I mean? Like you just need, like for example, with my family, want to run a 10K run together. So just something that connects
together,
you.
Yes.
And especially also romantic relationships. I realized they all kind of died once you didn't have a project anymore. So yeah, no, I need that. So those are my two hearts. And sometimes it's hard to balance them because obviously you need to go lean either one of them at the moment.
It's like, yes, it's like, I think, as I said, like I'm this extreme person, like, so to like, yeah, to,
I love that.
Yeah, but man, like 4 years, every day, building like physically, energetically, mentally, emotionally, like being in the finca is like kind of like raising a baby. It's like you're 24/7.
That's a huge project.
It's but I kind of went to the other extreme where we were building like kind of a life project, but I wasn't actually, to be honest, I was not allowing myself to actually enjoy it. I had this mindset of the city of like this, dale, keep going and doing, and then more. And every day we were like, which I was kind of, wow. I was asking, what's missing? ¿Qué nos hace falta? ¿Qué hace, like, what's still missing? No. This is like, I forgot this part of like, actually, celebrate the little success, the little yes, what we did today. Completely skipped that part and like was only on efficiency, productive. Like we're in the nature, like we're supposed to be like enjoying. No, like you bring the same mindset from the city, you bring it to the mountain or wherever you go. So at one, like now
you have to switch at a certain moment.
Oh yes, you will burn out otherwise.
I think maybe it's just my opinion. You need to have that mindset in order to build something. At least if you want to do it quickly, you need to put in that work mindset. But then at a certain level, you need to like slow down. And I personally need someone else to tell me.
well,
or my body is slowing me down.
Yes.
Like in smaller, like giving me some small signals where I'm like now trained to listen to it. But yeah, I need that. That's why I built myself a network around me that tells me like, take that day off.
Yeah.
Slow down. Like asking me the realistic questions that are pretty obvious for everyone else, but not me.
Yeah. Yes.
But that's fine as well. We don't have to do it all by ourselves.
Oh, yes. That's also the idea.
I'm really not good at this.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's interesting. It's interesting. And especially like, why it's so hard sometimes to ask for.
That's a that's going to be all another podcast episode. Actually, since coming here to Spain, I definitely got better at it. It's something about the culture here, especially as women. I don't know if the guys can relate to that. No idea. But I'm growing up in Germany. You're very much driven, like, you finish school, then you go to university. You just do it all on your own. Then I had a mom that raised us by herself, so I saw that, which is not a bad thing. It's just the reality of how life was for us or for me. So I thought that's normal, right? Because that's the only thing I knew. Like asking someone, I don't know, for the smallest things, I would be, why should I ask? So in my head, it's like, why should I ask someone to do something I can do by myself?
Yeah.
And I don't want to be a burden for the other person. So I never ask anyone.
Oof, that's
even when someone offered me help, I was like, no.
Yeah, I can grab this huge suitcase, 20 kilos. I can do it myself.
Yeah. Like seriously. Which is like, it's stupid. It's insane if you think about it. If someone offers you help, so take it. But if I had, that means I'm worth less because I cannot do, I'm not doing it by myself, right?
Yeah.
Until I came here and I realized here is Spanish culture. And you have a lot of Arabic influence here as well, which is obviously completely different culture. So in my circle of friends, I realized that they like helping.
Yes,
and especially the men, even in friendships, they want you to have an easier life, which is not them controlling you.
No. But it's, yes, receiving is sometimes complicated. It's sometimes...
Yeah, but that's like whole different. That's like a whole different story.
Yeah. We were just talking today with Christina in the car. Like receiving is actually, it's a thing. Like we kind of need to relearn again, like being in this feminine energy of receiving, and like all the time doing. And it's interesting though. I need to I kind of share that insight. For me was it was August, and until last August I was like super in the masculine energy, like productivity and efficiency, and I can do it all, and like I will do it all. So like
it actually works.
I mean, I can, but the thing is, I was like my eye was like shaking of like trying to do it all because like, man, so then I kind of got to that point, this extreme point of where like I can't anymore. Like no. So what happened is like when I pushed myself to that extreme is like I needed to let go and to kind of like release stuff. And it was interesting because the day I decided to release, the same day my volunteer came to me, the same day.
That's crazy.
And said, Julie, if it's okay for you, I'm going to do now all the volunteer program, like basically like kind of like set up all the tasks. And I would like to do that. Like I would like to have a bit more of responsibility, some new task to learn for him,
Love it.
So I can actually like, yes, wow. Like it's a whole thing to host 5 volunteers and to be all the time with them and like, of course, like, give them tasks and like check that they're all doing fine. And then everything is, they have everything they need. So to give this huge part to someone.
That's amazing.
The thing is, if I would have not released, I don't think that
there's no space
come to me. So.
Yeah, I know. I'm learning that. I mean, that's the thing. Sometimes for me, this is really interesting to observe on myself as well. In some areas of my life, I'm good at that, and in others, I'm not. So it's kind of like I have the skill set, but only for certain areas. Not going to get into detail which areas. That's for another time when the camera is off. Just kidding. But I mean, it's not only with the letting go. Like it's a lot of skill sets in general. Sometimes I feel like I'm really like organization, for example, as well. Like I'm good when it comes to like business stuff, but then I'm just privately not so much. Yeah, it's sometimes just interesting how that switches in my life, and I've seen that with friends as well. That a lot of times and then we wonder why we cannot do it there until we realize, hey, we actually already have the skill set. We just have to translate it into the other area. And once you understand that, it's like, oh yeah, it's not that hard actually.
It's easy. That's the thing. It's like, well, let's say easy. Let's say, no, it's not the right word. It's simple. It's so simple, but why is it so hard sometimes? Like, in the end, there are like resistance and stuff from our life and I don't know, the whole age and the whole society. And like,
there's so many factors.
Yeah. So,
yeah, I mean, there's so many factors that come into this. And I feel as well with the whole, like on Instagram or social media in general, this whole personal optimization, like this whole, and I love the mindset work, definitely, and like everything that comes with it. But I feel sometimes a lot of people feel pressured to do that and to be like the perfect, like be done with the mindset work. Someone tells me that, I'm like, you didn't understand the actual concept. Or at least not how I understand it.
No end.
Because there's, again, no end. And we're here to enjoy. So why not just accept sometimes that certain things are not how we want them to be? Just like have fun in the meantime.
That's the thing. Like, that's the thing. That's so simple, right? Like
it seems so simple.
Why can't we? Like for me, it was like this receiving part that I actually deserved, that I actually did it, and it's like, let's say, enough. This is also a thing like, oh, that's enough. So why not? Like, what? Yeah. Oh, definitely. And the funny thing is, you start enjoying, which is also something I learned. You start enjoying, so kind of, let's call it universe understands that. Oh, cool. She's enjoying.
Let's
more
of
that. Yes. So yeah. Some learnings, but well, again, I feel that's why the whole new change of the I call it like business, but in the end this is something I'm kind of putting to life for the others, where I then kind of get this financial sustain, whatever. But this is something I'm like exposing myself. This is me. Like the whole finca in general is like, it's me, but like, it's kind of, like exposing myself.
Yeah.
So, that's, like,
It's beautiful.
we should have fun.
Yeah.
More.
Yeah. Let's enjoy it. I mean, exposing yourself. And I mean, that's why people come. That's what they feel. It's this thing that you cannot explain. It's just that gut feeling. But that's also on the giving end. That's very vulnerable. That makes you very open. And that's hard sometimes. But we have to do that in order to attract the people that fit. But that's a process again. Like my mom always has this picture of the onion, and we just peel off the layers.
Yeah.
And then in every area and every level, we just attract the people that match that energy. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. So yeah. Let's get deep talk here. Love it. So one final question. What would you advise someone that is just starting out or might have to start it and like is struggling?
Well, like I think in my, like how I see it right now is first, everything what is kind of like this business thing or whatever we kind of see as a business, it's revealing to ourselves who we are. So this is like, if we see it like that, if we kind of like see it not like, this business needs to do 10K. No, like maybe we see it like which fears, tensions, resistance this business can actually show me about myself. So this is like something I'm creating, I'm like putting into life so I can see it, so I can see where are my resistance, where are my fears, where, no, like whatever, because we put it, we visualize it, like we put it, we manifest it, like we materialize it. So we can see stuff from ourselves in that business or whatever, no, like so this is one thing I discovered yet.
I love that. No, so you're pretty much saying using the business as a tool for personal development and like a mirror of the inside.
Yes.
True. Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, if we use it like that, it will be always a success because you will always see in the end, what are we coming from, to do 10K a month or to actually like develop our souls, let's say.
And the interesting part is money follows.
Yes. And then there's the thing, where does it follow? Where you release the tension, where you release the fears, or like where you're kind of in expansion. So this is what I'm working right now on, is like to release this tension. I now see them thanks to this change of concept, change of like kind of business concept. Yeah. So now I'm working on receiving, but receiving what? Receiving joy, receiving like all these emotions I was like manifesting for a long time. Like,
nice.
Yes, like enjoy in the end, the whole process. So I think, so then in the end, I think this is success. No, like it is. If you enjoy, and well, I think the 10K will follow. That's one point.
Yeah.
So
true.
So in the end,
I love that. And maybe on that note, when that guy was talking about the exit and the exito, so we redefined what success means for us, and it is the path towards the exit. So literally what you're saying. I think that's a perfect note to end this episode. Thank you for coming, for being on the show. Really appreciate it. Really enjoyed it as well.
Fun.
I'm happy that you had fun. I had fun too. I hope you guys had fun too. And see you at the next episode. Bye.